Hey, Videobob. Today we're doing a tech segment. This is a sponsored segment. The people at Rode Wireless sent me this as a gift because they know that I've used their products in the past. We're going to talk about some of their previous ones and what these are. And ironically, don't be mad at me, Rode, but I'm using my DJI wireless system because all my Rode ones are on the table. But we're going to talk about the difference between this and these and why you might make the choice one way or the other. Rode came out with the Rode Wireless Go system a few years ago, and I used these for a long time. And so you had one transmitter and one receiver. And the issue that I had with them is that you had to use this particular kind of you had to use a weird adapter in order to go into the lightning plug of your iPhone. And so this would dangle, right? So you would wear this on you. This would dangle from your phone. Now, they've always been trying to break into more of the professional market, let's say, because, you know, I worked in television, broadcast video for many, many years, and the wireless systems that we would use by Electrosonics or Sennheiser were large packs this big. You know, you'd wear those on you, and they kept getting a little smaller, but you had to wear a lavalier microphone. This has the microphone built right into it. They came out with a better system a little bit later called the Rode Wireless Go 2, which you got two transmitters, which have the little muffs on them. These come off, but I put them on there. And then you would have your receiver. And what I ended up doing is when I got the new iPhone 15, which has the USB, I went out and got this little double-headed USB thing here, and I figured out that you could just stick that right into the butt of the phone like that, and it would work rather than using a cable. So I've been arguing with not arguing, but suggesting to some of my professional video friends for a while, go, hey, you really don't need to use these VHF or UHF or old school transmittable wireless systems anymore. These Bluetooth things work great. I mean, they go 50 feet. Now, for some other real professional situations, like I've talked about this with my people who work in sound. They're like, yeah, that's just not far enough. It's not reliable enough. I don't know. What's interesting about these is that they will record. They will transmit to this, which will record the audio along with whatever you're transmitting to and recording in. So I think that what they're trying to do with this system, this is their Wireless Pro system. And at first, when I first checked this thing out, I wasn't super keen on it. I'm not gonna lie. I'll tell you why. Because I thought it was just too complicated, at least for what I do. I'm a YouTube blogger, and I just need a really simple system, which is one of the reasons I kind of like this DJI system, because the DJI has just this little charger case, has two transmitters in it. The receiver plugs right into the phone, right on there, comes with a little adapter that it's either USB-C or Lightning, and then your little transmitter just clips right on you. And you can plug a lavalier into it if you want, but I've never needed to. This is how I'm using it. It's a very natural system, and it's small and it fits right in your pocket. So when you're doing YouTube blogging and you're just running around with just an iPhone and a wireless, something small like this really works. And you can do that also with the Wireless 2. But the old Rode Wireless 2 system didn't have the built-in charger case. So these, what I would do is I carried around this little three-headed USB dongle, and I had to, you know, this is how I was carrying it in an old Shure microphone bag. So like you've got this stuff and it's just like you're just walking around with this, you know, and you can put it in a case, but you had to, what I would do is I would use this little three-headed jobber here, like that, and then plug them in. And so when I saw their competition come out with the, oh, this one's already plugged in. When I saw the DJI with the charger case and how portable it was and how instantaneous it was, I was like, man, that works for me. So for the last however long, I've been using their competition. So they've obviously seen that this has been kicking their butt, and that's why they've come out with this. However, this is a little bit much of stuff. There's a lot of stuff in this box. Now, first of all, my first complaint would be you have two cases, because you have the units and then you have their accessories. These are not pocketable. You can't put this in your pocket. They're the size of like a potato. So this is really designed for somebody who's going to put this in their portable audio case because they're out running around doing professional audio. And that's really why this is called Wireless Pro. They're going after people that are using maybe the Red and the Black Magic, the Sonys, the DSLRs, the professional people out there wanting to get into wireless audio on a budget. This thing is like, I think it's $300, $350. I forget exactly what it cost. But let's start with this. Here's the charger case enclosure. Has a little USB on the back of it so you can plug it in. Comes with that USB cable. And it's a charger case that holds the 3 units. So they're trying to do like this DJI unit did. You've got your 2 receivers, which by the way are not marked as far as I know. I don't see, I think I just accidentally started recording on this thing. I got to figure out the operation of it. Let me turn it off. Okay, so you've got your 2 sending units, and then you have your receiver here. And I'm going to admit to you, I'm doing this review kind of blind. I haven't really used them in depth, and I haven't gone through the manuals. But that's really the point of what I'm trying to make. Like, you know, this, I required no manual. They just worked right out of the box. I didn't have to set them up or anything. These do work right out of the box. I have tested them. But you have a lot more stuff. There's way more stuff. This is either a plus or a minus depending on who you are. I mean, you open this thing up and you've got just cables galore. There's a USB to Lightning adapter. There's USB to USB. You've got, oh gosh, there's so much stuff in here. I can't even get it out. You got your magnet adapters and clips for these things. I don't know if those are just replacements. Ugh, those magnets are strong. Here's a regular actual mini adapter for going old school analog audio in. You open this up, you've got some cleaning cloth here. You've got some extra lavalier holders, muffs, screws, all kinds of parts and pieces. Then you get into your lavalier microphones here. You got 2 of those. Very, very thin lavaliers. Got some instructions. Then you got a whole collection of muffs, little dead cats. Look at this, there's 5 of them in there. And they do that because I'm gonna say, you're gonna lose these and they're gonna break. That's why on mine, I super glued mine into place. I get tired of losing them and having them break off because the way they're designed, I have to criticize them a little because these, the way these snap on, right? They kind of twist on. And once they're on, they kind of block the buttons and the connection here. It's kind of makes it kind of hard to get to. You know, they do work well, but they're kind of in the way, and they're going to fall off, and you're going to lose them, and they're going to break. That's why they gave you 5 of them, because you're going to need extras. These little labs are great. If you're doing more professional audio where you don't want the mic to be seen, like, you know, traditionally, you've probably seen a gazillion YouTubers just sticking these on their shirt, you know, just doing this with it, whatever, right? And I think that in a professional situation, well, for one thing, if I'm being honest and you're doing professional television, you kind of don't want your audience to see that you're using some consumer rated $200-300 microphone thing. You want to hide this. You want to put it in a pocket. Now, when I appear on, I had my own reality show called Scream Machines that ran on the Reels channel. You can find it on Tubi and Amazon Prime now. And what I would do is I would come in each day to do the show, and my sound man would, you know, I'd basically drop my trousers. He would go up under my shirt. He would take a microphone just like this. He would take a piece of tape and he would tape it under my shirt. Right? So you would tape this under your shirt, like right in the middle of your chest here, and run that wire down and then put the receiver in your back pocket or behind your belt or something like that to hide it. And this thing is so small. I mean, you wouldn't even need to strap it down. I mean, it could just dangle somewhere. But that's the design of these. Now they do come with these clips, right? These little tie clips, so that they can be clipped onto a tie or a lapel or whatever. But the reason that these are flat is, you know, if you want to get into a more professional audio situation, that's something you would tape these down and you would tape them up onto your shirt. So if you were trying to be a little bit more covert or whatever. The difference though is when you're working with professional audio, you can access that battery pack, turn it on, turn it off, mute it, and also change out the batteries in it. You cannot change the batteries in these. However, they do charge very quickly, and I think they have like a 7-hour run. But when we were doing our show, like I might be on mic and on standby, you know, 10, 12 hours a day when we were shooting. And, you know, sound guy would come over and go, hey, I'm going to turn you off while you're on break. And he'd turn you off or take your pack and you would go to the bathroom. Or when you're wearing a microphone like this, you would say to your sound guy, you go, hey, if you're listening, I'm going to the bathroom, cut me off. Because you realize you're on microphone the entire time. That guy's sitting there with a pair of earmuffs and he's got 8 or 16 channels of all the different people that are running around with these things, and he can cue them up or down as they're shooting. So I think that they're trying to address some of those things because they've also added the ability on here to monitor the audio. So if you have a scaled down version of only 2 of these and you're doing an interview situation, or you have 2 talents, whatever the situation might be, a sound person could take this, hook this up to some earmuffs, and could also loop this out through a little small mixer. But you kind of don't need to do that because you've got VU meters right on here and you can record right on it. So like you could have a separate sound person running around with this monitoring the audio and recording right on the units, and have other cameras recording without sending the direct signal to those cameras. So I think that that's kind of Rode's plan with these, is they want to be able to tap into the more professional market. I explain all of this to you because if you're a YouTube blogger like me, this may not be for you. And Rode may not want me to say that, but this is going to be quite overkill for the basic blogger, unless you're trying to get a little bit more professional. Now, granted, you could go get the Rode Wireless One system. I think it's like 150, 200 bucks. And you could easily buy a lavalier for it and the other things you need. And you could use it in just the same way and just charge them up with a USB. Same thing with the Wireless 2, right? I think these are like 200 bucks, something like that. They're really affordable and they're a great price. These, you could do the same thing. You could get lavaliers, but by the time you spend the money on professional lavaliers and some of the other accessories here, might as well buy this thing. You do get the charging case, you do get the accessory case, but again, my complaint to you, Rode, is that this is not pocketable. It's the size of like a large apple or something. You know, this is a sponsored video in that they gifted this to me for free. They're not paying me for this. They're just they were willing to let me have it to get my advice. I've been working in and on television since the early 90s. That's why my name is Videobob. I've worked on multiple television shows and film sets and things, doing production as a cameraman. I worked as a chief engineer for a television network called the American Independent Network, which had 73 affiliates nationwide, in which I did all the production. I used to design and build mobile production video television trucks for the video industry. They were 4-camera, what's known as EFP trucks, and I was submitted for an engineering Emmy for building one of the first all-digital video trucks in 2004 that utilized the NewTek toaster system in an all-digital system where we worked with a company called Marketech to put video digitally over Cat5, and this was very groundbreaking at the time. I give you that little brag resume to let you know that I've been working in this field for a long time. I am not a professional audio technician, but I've had to wear a lot of microphones and work with a lot of sound guys over the years, and I could tell you that for a measly price of less than $400 to have a wireless system like this in today's world, that's not a lot of money. I used to spend $1,000 on just one Sennheiser or Electrosonics wireless transmitter or pack, you know, and they were much bulkier. They ran on either AA's or they ran on 9-volt batteries, and they only lasted a couple hours if you were lucky. Whereas these things will basically run all day. I've never actually run one of them dead. The batteries in these things last a long time. Now, just as a comparison to you, this might cause a problem with the microphone I'm using now, because when I open this case and take out the other transmitter, it's probably going to automatically connect. So let me see if I can't turn it off. I didn't want to break this video up. When I take this out, it's going to automatically connect. So let me turn it off. Okay, hopefully that didn't cause any audio disruptions. This is the DJI version of this, okay? It's very small. It's very small, has the same clip, has the magnet. Take a look at the difference in the size of these. Okay, it's literally, I wouldn't say half the size, it's a third less, okay, if you were looking at these, okay, same thickness and everything, but about a third less width. They look to have pretty much the same type of microphone technology and everything on them. I can't speak for all the specs and all of that, but for my money, Rode's going to be mad at me for saying this. I'm going to say that if you're just a YouTube blogger that uses your phone, I prefer this DJI system. Fits in your pocket, plugs in, comes on instantaneously, and as you can hear, it works fine. Now, the fair thing to do would be for me to hook this up and let you hear how they sound. So that's the least I can do. Let's do that now. I'm going to take one of these, I'm going to plug it into the phone, and I'm going to turn one of them on so that you can hear the sound difference between them. I'm going to take the DJI off, put it in the case, and we're going to switch systems. Give me just a second. Okay, we've switched over here to, this is the Rode. Speaking into it I'm going to speak quietly into it here. And I'm going to just clip it on right here like I did the other one. And this is the natural audio. Can you tell a difference between the DJI that I was using a second ago and this one? So I plugged it right in. Okay, another complaint that I have, I don't know if it's fair for me to do this complaint. When I plugged in the Rode, it immediately asked the phone of some questions, some authorizations, and then wanted me to download an app, a Rode app. Then it asked me to do a firmware upgrade, which I did not do because it says I have to take it and plug it into my computer in the house, into a PC or a Macintosh computer, to do a firmware upgrade via USB cable and download. I've never had to do that with this thing. It's never asked for such a thing. It's not hooked up to my Wi-Fi. It's not, Rode, what are you doing? Now, I understand that the reason for this app is that they have, obviously there's a whole bunch of features that they're making available. Audio tweaks for audio engineers that can go in and use those things. Again, probably great for the professional audio guy, and this is probably not the review for the person who wants to know all the in-depth information about it. I could see that maybe you hook it up to an iPad or some other thing for doing monitoring or what have you. I didn't want to deal with any of that. I just hooked the thing up. I did not want to deal with that. All right, let's try the audio from one of these little lavaliers. I'm just going to plug it in. Bear with me, this is going to make some noise. Sorry about that. Now, here we go. This is the lavalier. There it is. If this lavalier was here, how does that sound to you? We have the lavalier here, just chest level where it would probably be, right? Does that sound good to you? That's just a test. I'm in a rather echoey room, empty room. All right, well, there it is. I don't know if that's a review. It's a demonstration of the Rode Wireless Pro system. Do I recommend it? Yes, I do. If you're doing professional audio, if you're getting into filmmaking, online television production, whatever you want to call it. You need 2 microphones, and you need a professional system where you're using a wireless kit. You need to be able to go in and tweak various things to make it a little bit more user-friendly for the application that you're doing, and you want more than just what something like this offers. I think it's a great option. But I'll say that if you're just a YouTube blogger like me that just uses a phone and a little mini tripod, and you just need something very, very basic, I'm going to stick with these, Rode. Rode, if you want to kind of emulate what DJI is doing with these kind of charger cases and things, it needs to be pocketable. And yours works right out of the box. It does the same thing. But I can't put this in my pocket and carry it around. I think that maybe you need to abandon, if you don't need this large of a cube, maybe it's time to go with a slightly smaller form factor, just as these guys did. I don't really care about the size of this. I'm fine with the size of it. But by making it smaller to that thinness, it fits in my pocket. So when I do my food reviews for Bob Eats Vegas, little plug there for Bob Eats Vegas, my food review channel, I go into a casino or restaurant and I walk in with just my phone in my hand and this thing in my pocket. I have a little folding tripod that's the size of a little candy bar, and nobody's the wiser. So when you're trying to do under the radar video, I found that when you use the phone, nobody cares. You can blog all day with your phone. No one will say anything to you. Like here in the casinos in Las Vegas, you're not supposed to be recording in the casinos. But if you're using your phone, nobody cares. But if you use a GoPro or a DSLR or anything that looks professional, it's a problem. My friend Adam the Woo, famous blogger who goes and does daily blogs, he tried to go into a concert here in Las Vegas, and because it wasn't a phone, but it was like just a regular digital camera, they wouldn't let him take that in. But you can carry your 4K television studio phone. So my recommendation for people who are doing YouTube blogging is there's no better phone than the iPhone. That's just my opinion. That's what I use. For my channel with 158,000 subscribers and over 30 million views, I've used an iPhone to shoot every single bit of it. So you need just a simple thing. If you do want to use the Rodes, get the Rode Wireless 1 or the Wireless 2. Those will also work great and basically do the same thing and technically use a lot less space than this rechargeable. When you're using the little plug that I just showed you, you're just carrying 2 of these little cubes in your pocket, and the battery will last all day long. You're not going to probably run this thing down, and it's not hard to plug them into a little battery bank if you carry one with you. So my suggestion to Rode, make a smaller, more pocketable version of this if you can for YouTube bloggers. But for the professional market, that's the Rode Wireless Pro. Thank you for the gifts, Rode. I will look forward to your next improvements. Sorry if this wasn't the exact review you wanted, but I am recommending it for those that are working in the professional space. All right, back to our regular scheduled program of the stuff I normally do here, working on cars, Rolls Royces, DeLoreans, and all that other fun stuff. So thanks for watching. I'm Videobob.